welcome to episode 27 of Anime and Us. I'm TJ.
And I'm Shawn.
And this is the review show that reviews anime from A to Z, sort of.
So last episode, we got Your Lie in April.
I'll stop you right there. We did not get Your Lie in April. We got your choice, and this is what you picked.
I picked it to torture you. I don't know if I said that in the last one or not. I don't remember. But I definitely picked it to torture him because I'd seen it before.
So we got you, out of any anime you could have picked, you decided you were going to stick with this.
Yeah. I'm pretty excited about it, too.
Good.
Known in Japan as Shigatsu wa Kimi no Uso. Probably butchered that. It's a Japanese manga series written and illustrated by Naoshi Arakawa, serialized in Japan in the Monthly Shonen magazine from April 2011 to May 2015. A1 Pictures made an anime that aired in 2014.
Okay.
There you go. That's the wiki.
Well,
apparently there was a live-action film. Look at that.
Yeah, this wouldn't be hard to make one of those.
Yeah.
So
nothing particular, no supernatural stuff really. I mean, I guess if you're going to go through his depression parts, which is sort of imagination, that would cost a little bit of money, but past that.
Alright, go ahead. What's the premise?
The premise is, there's a boy in school, he's got some friends, and,
let me ask you something. Did you actually watch this again?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, did you?
I watched it.
Yeah, the premise is it's a boy in school with his friends.
It just seemed like you're
he comes across a girl that makes him start playing the piano again.
Kind of, yeah. A little bit. It was just, I know you watched this before. I just wondered if you...
Yeah, I watched it again.
Well,
before we get any farther, did you like it or not?
I'm really torn on this one. Honestly, because I hate what it is. But it's really charming.
Yeah.
And the characters are pretty well done. And honestly, if I had to be completely honest, I think I came out on the side of liking it.
I definitely came out on the side of liking it. It's got some issues, that's for sure. One thing that that absolutely no fault to it at all is its art. It's very pretty. It's very nice to watch. It's very crisp, beautiful colors. You know what I mean? Very nicely drawn, all of it.
Except for the missing glasses that you pointed out to me.
Oh, well,
drove me nuts.
That's a choice they made, though. That's not their lack of ability.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm just saying I could not see it now.
So, like, a lot of anime do... so, like, if you're looking at straight on at someone's face, and let's say they have long hair and it's covering their eyes, a lot of anime, you can still see their eyes through their hair. They didn't do that in this one. What they did do is the main character has glasses, and if you look at his face sideways, the side part of his glasses, the arm, is just gone. It's not there, so you can see his eyes. It was annoying as hell, and it really was throughout the whole thing, but it didn't bother me towards the end.
Oh, it didn't bother me at all, honestly. I wouldn't even notice if you hadn't pointed it out, but once you pointed it out, I couldn't not see it. So...
And then it bothered you.
And, well, it didn't bother me so much as, like, this is, like, oh my god, this is horrible. It's just, like, now, and no matter what I watch from now on, I'm going to see that because it's been pointed out to me.
Mm-hmm.
So, thanks for that little quirk. Anyway, yeah, I liked it. It's stupid in parts, though. And I have a problem with slice of life anime in general. I never really got it.
Yeah.
Because of...
the pacing's really weird. It's really, like, down to earth and slow, and then, bam, shit's happening.
Well, no, not even that. It's just... You're watching normal people do normal things. Don't you watch anime for an escape?
It's an escape out of your life, not necessarily escape out of life.
But it's almost like watching reality TV, only you're not getting stupid more every minute you watch reality TV, you know?
That's true.
So, I mean, and then since it's an actual anime and there's a story going on, you have to force drama in there somewhere, so know forced drama is coming at some point, because otherwise you don't have a story. And what's the point?
The forced drama wasn't too bad.
No.
Some of it was foreseen, like, Tsubaki, I think is the girl's name, ended up liking Kohei, but that was, I mean, come on, you saw that a mile away. His friend that lived next door.
I don't know the names, I'm not gonna lie to you. I blanked on all the names.
Oh, man. Typical TJ.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry.
It would honestly be nice. So, like, if you're gonna... I guess you could call it whitewashing if you really wanted to, but if you're gonna dub something in English, you should probably change their names to English names.
I mean, I don't have a problem with them using Japanese names.
The reason why I'm saying that, though, is because it would be easier for people to remember.
Well, true, but I don't mind them using Japanese names as long as they don't mind me not using them.
Not remembering them.
Yeah, that's all it is.
Yeah, that's the only reason why I think they should probably do that, so people can remember them more. It doesn't really bother me at all. But
to be fair, though, if an anime is really, really good, you remember the names despite...
Yeah, I mean, I remember most of them. I don't remember the girl's name. The one he falls in love with in the first episode.
I think it starts with a Y.
I don't know.
I don't know.
She's blonde. She's going to be known as blonde for the rest of this podcast.
Well...
She's the only blonde in the anime.
So this anime also made me really mad, too.
Why did it make you mad?
Because I called it right from the beginning. Not the first episode, but the second episode in. I called that she was going to die. And I called that they were going to... The two in the beginning, the best friends were going to end up together.
Well, to the best of our knowledge,
they heavily implied it.
They heavily implied it. Well, but the main character doesn't seem to be...
But I'm not even...
To the best of our knowledge.
I'm not mad that it's predictable.
You don't see him fall for her.
Yeah, well, I'm not mad that it was predictable. I'm mad that I called it because it would be a hell of a lot more impactful if I didn't see it coming a mile away. The whole ending, you know? So, you know, it would have really been like, oh, wow, that's harsh. And
why did you think she would die?
Why did I think she was going to die? Because, well, they hint early on about her illnesses and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, but... Honestly, I'm me. I dissected the story from the very beginning, and the love triangle didn't make sense.
Yeah, the love triangle really wasn't, it was a weird triangle.
Well, my point is, when they do a love triangle, and they have one with unrequited love, and then the two main characters, they usually bring another character in to throw at that character, or they make that character an antagonist, and they made all the characters really likable and realistic almost.
Yeah, there's no character that you don't want to win.
So it didn't make any sense that the best friend would just end up miserable at the end.
Well, so at the end, in the last episode, she writes a letter. She's already dead. No, not
the actual best friend, the one who
Watery.
The one that lived next door.
Oh, his friend that's a girl.
Yeah. I'm sorry, yeah, I should. I took them as best friends because the other one he says is his best friend, but I mean, come on, they lived right next to each other and stuff like that.
Well, I mean, she would end up miserable, but it is implied that they're going to get together.
Well, that's my point, is up until...
She's now actively pursuing.
So that's why I figured the only way this story works is if the blonde dies. Because if she has to be out of the picture in order for her to get a happy ending.
Yeah, no one wants her to have a happy ending.
Yeah. But you're not following me.
I get what you're saying. So yeah, it makes sense as to why you would call that.
So the story elements just didn't add up to me. And that's why I was like, they're going to freaking kill her at the end of this. Because I was waiting for it for literally 20 episodes. I was like, there's this leading up to... And as the show progressed, and she gets worse and worse and worse and worse. And it's just like... So yeah, it kind of spoiled the entire ending for myself.
It also preaches a little bit. It's got a little bit of that...
Oh, what's...
The word we've been using.
Yeah, I forget. I actually can't think of the word of...
Galaxy Railways, what was it?
Pretentious.
Pretentious, yeah. I think it's just an anime thing. It might be a common trope of it, but it is a bit pretentious. Nowhere near as bad as any of the other ones we've had, but it's a coming of age. They're all like 14, I think.
Yeah.
So they're like, oh, we're just first falling in love is what's happening a lot. All of them are just now figuring out these feelings, and it's like, oh, so like this is what this feeling is. This is what love is, and then it sort of explains that as if you're a child.
Yeah, but they also kind of go through it, use music a lot to do everything.
Yes, they do use music a lot for that, and I gotta say, I love the music.
I was about to say, the music is fantastic in this.
All classical, but it's
all
just so good.
And sometimes they go for like 10 minutes on a single thing, and it's really, really good.
It's kind of hard not to like something that's really pleasant to listen to.
Yeah, so I mean,
and pleasant to look at.
I mean, I didn't like the anime shonen tropes they put in the musical competitions at points. I mean, but when they got when they stuck to what they were trying to show with the music and how...
Yeah, I think that was the forced tension that you were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
That was kind of... they sort of have a competition, and he has rivals, but he doesn't know about them. And it was interesting, but none of it really mattered.
Right. But, I mean, that's what I liked about this show, though, is because he had rivals, but they weren't, like, antagonistic. They were, like, they had their reasons for being there.
Yes, they did have their reasons.
And they all kind of respected each other. The only real problem I had is that this main character feels like Jesus sometimes. Because everybody's so moved by his music, and everybody gets into piano because of him, and everything just seems to revolve around him.
And the main character's girl, the blondie, you find out at the very end, the reason why she plays the violin is because she originally played the piano, heard him listen, and was like, no, I have to play with him. How do you play with him?
Right, and she was
by playing a different instrument and then playing together.
She was in love with him the entire time, so she pretended to like his best friend in order to get close to him, which is why that's the name of the entire show, Your Lie in April.
And well, it was nice to actually get what that lie was.
Right.
It was very clear and concise in the 22nd episode. This is the lie I told.
Right.
So that was nice. I enjoyed that. And
honestly, if she didn't die, that would be pretty messed up to do. Leading somebody on and, along those ways and manipulating everyone around you, if you think about it.
Yeah, that's something you'd have to take to the grave.
But, yeah, she kind of got away with it because,
she died. What are you going to do?
They imply heavily that she was very depressed before she decided to go through this.
Yeah.
And that this was just her last gasp at life, essentially.
Yeah, once she found out that she was dying, she was like, all right, time to throw caution to the wind and do what I want.
Yeah, so
she goes after him.
She actually makes him become, because they never actually get together, which I also found refreshing.
Yeah, that was kind of sad, actually.
Yeah, a little bit.
Really sad.
No,
they both love each other and they never get together.
The saddest part, I thought, honestly, is because they play together in the first couple episodes.
Yeah.
And they never get to play together ever again.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end, they do a metaphysical play together again.
Yeah, but it was more of him just imagining them playing together while he was playing.
But I kind of implied that she died.
Yeah.
That he knew she
died.
So
while he's playing the song, either she died beforehand and he knew about it, because they never actually showed him finding out.
That's true. I didn't think of that.
And so, while he's playing, he's just imagining doing the duet. Or she died while he was playing.
Right.
And somehow he knew and he just imagined her dying.
Right. So, I mean, because
I'm going to go with... They don't show you. I'm going to go with she died beforehand, and that's why he was so torn up the entire time.
I would agree, except they were showing both things happening at the same time.
Yeah.
So it was kind of coinciding with everything.
Well, let's go backwards a bit towards the beginning. So it's just a guy and his friends in high school, and then...
Well, one of the main character is a prodigy in piano.
That hasn't played in 2 years.
Because, well...
This is what I wanted to get into real quick.
The real reason his mother died, but he also cannot hear the music anymore.
Why can't he hear the music?
I don't know.
Depression. He's severely depressed.
And that's
why is he severely depressed? Because as his mother was slowly dying, she was also, I'm assuming, a prodigy in the piano.
Right.
And she's got some sort of sickness that's keeping her from playing. So he's probably 3 or 4 until age 6 or 7 or 8. Oh, no, it was a 2-year gap, wasn't it? So until age 12.
Yeah.
Because he's 14 in the show. So until age 12, she's teaching him how to play the piano. Well, as she gets sicker and sicker, she gets more abusive.
Well, yeah. And
she beats him more and more. You see, bloody hands. You see her using him all the time.
First half of this show, you think this mother is a monster.
She is a monster. I don't think she was ever redeemed, in my opinion.
Well, I get that. And I understand that she is towards the end. But... his forgiveness of it and realizing everything.
Not only his forgiveness of it, but I don't think he forgave her at all. I don't think he ever blamed her for anything. I don't ever recall in the show him saying, oh yeah, that's pretty fucked up that she used to abuse me. Anything like that.
Well, they showed one flashback where he said, I wish you were dead.
Yeah, that was right before she died and he was little.
Well,
I'm talking about now, as he's older. All I ever heard from him was... I just wanted to play and make her better. I just wanted, if I played better, she would get better.
Right. It was, and that
I
was
never heard him recognize her actually beating him.
He was blaming himself for his death.
Yeah, I get that, but I never to forgive someone. You have to acknowledge that they did something really, really terrible.
But that's what he did. He's when he told her to die, and she beat him for playing.
I guess.
And it was
you'd think it would be talked about a little bit more than just one quick 2-second scene.
And that scene though, he's I did all this for you and you don't care at all. You just beat me for this. I just wish you were dead.
All right.
And
I'll give you that. But I thought we would have heard more about it, especially in the adult form, not in the a flashback.
Well, I get that part too, because once he said that and got that frustration, he felt bad about it because essentially he thinks he killed her with it.
Yeah, because she died
almost
very
instantly after. Yeah, so he blames himself for killing her essentially because of those words, because he felt like he can stand up and defend himself. So of course he's gonna belittle himself backwards.
And being a child, your dad doesn't live with you. He was just written out of the story.
The dad was always away on business.
Yeah,
so
always away.
So he did live there, but he just was never there.
But yeah, so like that's why he's severely depressed. His mom dies. He was abused. He blames himself for the death.
And the
depressions for some reason lead to him not being able to hear the piano. Once he started playing a song, some point in the song, he wouldn't be able to hear the music.
Well, the funny thing is, he never actually regains the ability to hear those notes. He just channels emotion within himself and hears his own notes and plays them.
Yeah, they kind of, about a little more than halfway through the anime, though, they stopped talking about him not being able to hear the piano. And he's just better at playing. He just needs to practice.
They explain it because he doesn't need to hear it anymore. Because
it's a bit weird.
It is a bit weird.
He's got some serious issues.
Yes, he's got a lot of... This is a messed up anime from the perspective of this kid, honestly.
Yeah, he's got some problems.
Because not only does his mother die, his girlfriend kind of dies, which is not his girlfriend, but...
So the one person in the world that he loved, his abusive mother, dies. And he's depressed, and he's got some friends, but he's still, And then no one's that close to him yet. And then he gets someone really close. This girl, blonde girl.
Brings him back into the thing he loves to do at the piano.
She forces him back, and he's starting to enjoy it, and then, bam, she fucking dies.
And she dies, too. Yeah, it's like, Jesus, I want to be this kid.
Now, he makes it out towards the end. You see him playing and everything, and how he's on top of it. He's better than ever, is pretty much what they were saying. So he makes it out in the end, which is great.
Well,
I really think a better ending would have seen him committing suicide. I think that would have been a bit more realistic. Everything he loved gets ripped away from him.
I guess, but at the same time, the story wasn't built in that way.
No, it wasn't.
So, I mean, if they would have done that and stuck with the same story and done that, I think that would have been a cop-out almost.
Maybe, but, I mean...
They would have to change the story in significant ways. They would have to essentially completely write out the best friends.
I don't know.
Or make the best friends dickish in some way, because... At one point, the main character and the guy best friend are going out to visit the blonde and the girlfriend.
Towards the end.
Girlfriend, and he admits to his best friend,
"Hey, I really like her.
And you think he's gonna it's his girlfriend essentially. He's like, "Of course you do," and that's essentially it.
That's a good friend, though.
Yeah,
he recognizes that he really likes her, and he lets it.
And they're joking on the way up that I'm gonna have to fight you for you.
We'll fight each other for her.
And so he has a lot of people around him. Like, he's got the
girlfriend, Tsubaki, I believe her name is.
Yeah, and he's got the other girl.
Watery.
And then he's got...
Watery's the guy, sorry.
Yeah, he's got the Watery. He's got the other girl.
Yeah, there's another girl that's a friend of theirs, but she's sort of friends with Tsubaki, not really friends with everyone else, but she's there.
Right. And then they have the mom's friend.
Yeah, about that. So the mother's friend is also a pianist. And so his mother dies when he's 12, I guess, because there's a 2-year gap, right? Almost never sees him in that 2 year.
Right.
He's like, "Oh, hey, it's been a while." She's like, "Yeah, it's been, I think, 2 years or something like that." Like, what the fuck? You were best friends with his mother. You haven't seen the kid in 2 years?
Well, they explain that away, too. But, when he broke down with the piano, she went and found him. And she blamed herself for pushing him into the piano. Because she was the one that said, "You have to make to the mom."
Yeah, the first time he touched the piano was with her. And he was able to be on key.
And she was like, "Oh, now you have to make him. He's a genius at this." So she kind of forced him into that whole situation.
Yeah, still, it's pretty shitty to do as an adult.
I get you, but when the kid breaks down and can't hear the piano, and that's really the only thing...
Let's just make him even more alone. His mom's dead. He's severely depressed. Let's, his one lifeline, because his dad's never around. Let's just walk away.
Well, the thing is, she was also a world-famous pianist, and he wanted nothing to do with the piano anymore. So if she's constantly doing piano things around him...
Oh, I get that.
So
I do get that. But as an adult, it's a shitty thing to do.
No, I get you. But you have to also remember, this is an anime.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's not...
It's not real life. So, it's kind of like, sure, in real life...
Just recognizing that that's a shitty thing to do as an adult. She should have been there.
But I'm not holding...
Maybe he wouldn't be as depressed. Maybe he could have worked through it a lot sooner.
I don't know. You can't know that. You
can't know that, but maybe.
But maybe she would have been just made things a hell of a lot worse for him too. So I'm not holding that against the show. So when there's
yeah, I mean, look, the art was great, the music was fantastic. A lot of it was fully televised. There wasn't any real blindside turn. We both knew she was going to die fairly early on.
Yeah, she was doomed from the start.
It would have been nice if there was a twist, an actual twist.
Well, I mean, see, here's the thing. If she would have survived the surgery, I would have been pissed. If she would have survived and they lived happily ever after and they got that color shade and then that.
I wish we could have known what sickness she actually had. They never tell you what kind of sickness she has.
I just assumed it was the same as his mom's, but they never tell you what hers was either.
It's true.
So.
That would have been, yeah, you know what? It could have been. Because she's having trouble walking. His mother was bound to a wheelchair.
That's what I assumed.
It actually could have been.
Because he said, and I click it a few times, he says, not again, not again. And
I always took the not again as in the one person he loves is dying, but I think you might be right. It could be the same illness.
I just think because
and she's young, so it's affecting her faster.
Yeah, and it's too similar to how his mother was, how she slowly, and even at one point, when he is slacking off in the piano, when she freaks out on him for not, like his mother used to. So they even drew parallels to the mother in that aspect. So that's what I got out of it anyway. So
the comedy was pretty corny. Could have done with a lot of that.
I've come to the conclusion, if the anime's not a comedy, there should not be comedy in anime.
I don't mind it. Comedic relief isn't a bad thing, but it's a bad thing when you're bad at it.
But no animes can seem to freaking get it right.
Some of them can do it. We just haven't gotten any of them.
Well, I mean, like I said, if it's supposed to be funny, but even when it's supposed to be funny, it's not funny. Like, what was the one we just did? Triple X Holic was supposed to be a comedy, and the comedy was the worst part of that.
That wasn't that great.
So, I mean, I don't know. I feel like we're missing something on this.
Yeah?
Yeah.
There's a lot of blood.
Yeah, there is a lot of blood.
He's always getting hit in the head or a scratch from a cat.
For some reason, the show is very bloody.
The cat dies in his hand. And then the episode after the cat dies in his hand, which is, I believe, the last episode, or the second to last episode, there's like a really good scene where he's looking at his hands after he gave the cat away to the...
Oh, and they're all bloody.
And it's like really detailed.
But I don't think that was the ending.
That might have been the second to last.
I don't even think it was
like his girl, like she was... No, I think you're right. Because that's when she was fell down.
Yeah.
Anyway, doesn't matter.
And then in the middle arc, he takes on a student.
Which happens to be his unbeknownst rival.
Yeah.
Little sister.
And then she falls in love with him, apparently.
Yeah, which felt weird. Because even though they're only 3 years apart, she was drawn as a little girl.
Right.
And he's drawn as a teenager.
But if you notice, every 12-year-old's drawn as a little kid, and every
14-year-old is a full-grown teenager.
Yeah, it's like from 12 to 14 they have giant growth spurt. I mean, I guess it's possible.
I mean, she would have been 11.
Yeah, well,
but still, it just 3-year difference isn't a big deal. It's a big deal at that specific age gap, though.
Right.
You know what I mean? 3 years in your 30s is whatever. Who cares? 3 years in your 20s, who cares? 3 years when you're 11. That's a problem.
I mean, but it's not. It's unrequited love, though.
Yeah. She's getting a crush on him.
Yeah, I mean, if he was like reacting to it and like accepting it, then it would be
something like Koikaze.
Yeah, then we'd be getting into weird territory. But he didn't. I don't think he even came to that.
He never even.
But then again, he is so dense.
Well, he's
the densest. I think he might be one of the densest people in anime. Honestly.
Yeah, I mean, at some point, he should have noticed that Blondie, the violinist, really likes him. It's fairly obvious that she's constantly coming out to him instead of Watery.
Right, and
she's constantly calling him, she's constantly meeting him.
And he keeps justifying by like, no, she likes my best friend, I don't stand a chance.
Well, I mean, a lot of that could be with depression and all that, but still, it's... At some point, he should have noticed.
I mean, and what's even worse is the other girl best friend is just as dense as he, and those two are clearly in love with each other. So, I mean, it's a whole... I mean, I guess that's just being a kid, though.
Yeah, being a kid. A lot of it can be explained.
I hate using that as an excuse, but that's exactly what this show is. It's about being a kid.
Yeah, learning love for the first time.
And, what pianos and
yeah, I
violins.
mean, loved it. A lot of Steinway and Sons.
Yeah, a lot of product brands and a lot of products in this one. So, if you're really into music, this is the one you need.
Not McDonald's.
Yeah, McDonald's. I don't remember McDonald's. So
a couple times.
Like by name?
No, just the setting where they're eating. If they're eating hamburgers,
okay.
It's always they don't never show McDonald's. Oh, some of them do, some animes, but it's always like the art. It's McDonald's.
So it wasn't what was the other one that had a lot of McDonald's stuff in it recently?
It wasn't Triple X Holic.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
It was the
one girl was even working there.
Yeah, it was the twins.
Yeah, there was one or two other ones too, but yeah, it's pretty common. For some reason, they have an obsession with McDonald's. By the way, I don't know if we talked about this before. Pretty unrelated, just a Japanese thing. Christmas Eve and Christmas Day in Japan, you will be waiting like 50 people back at KFC. Why do they love fried chicken so much? Why do they think it's a Christmas thing?
Well,
that's so weird.
Well, from what I understand, Japanese culture is really embracing Western culture. Like Halloween's Halloween's getting big over there too.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, apparently. So
that makes sense, especially with the cosplay and all that. That kind of makes sense.
I mean, apparently it's like a month event now or something like that for Halloween.
So. It might be an interesting time to go visit.
Yeah, could be.
The cherry blossoms was so real in this one. Jesus.
Well,
it does take place in April, but still.
Has there been an anime where there wasn't a cherry blossom?
Yeah, for sure. There's plenty of them, but it is a very common thing.
Let me rephrase. It represents a lot for them. Let me rephrase. Has there been an anime set in Japan that didn't have cherry blossoms?
Did Triple X Holic have cherry blossoms?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they had cherry blossoms somewhere in there.
Oh.
I mean, it wasn't prevalent. I mean, they're not prevalent, but when they want to say it's Japan, you can definitely see cherry blossoms.
Yeah.
Or mountains or something in the background. You know how it is. I still think I'm missing something here.
What do you think you're missing?
There's another point I wanted to bring up, but I cannot remember for the life of me. That's why I keep rambling on about.
Well, I know I wanted to bring up his depression. We talked about that. That was a big point for me. It's pretty much what the whole show's about. Him getting through his depression, and then him falling in love. Like it's that and him falling in love.
And then the characters surrounded him.
Yeah. The cat was interesting. He had a black cat.
Yeah, the black cat to talk to him.
Just part of his depression.
Yeah, I got you. I figured it out, but that was weird too.
Yeah, I always find like that when any TV show or anime or book or whatever always takes a main character or whatever character, and then to show their depression, to show what they're going through, they add like a ghost or someone that they're seeing and talking to, or a talking cat. I always find that very weird because that doesn't happen in real life unless you have a fucking mental disorder. Right? I've been through death in my life. I've been through some pretty bad things, and I didn't just talk to people that weren't there. I didn't do that. That's pretty weird.
Wait, you don't talk?
I didn't talk to talking cats either.
You don't talk to cats?
I don't talk to cats, no.
Oh, well.
So whenever any show does that, I mean, this is just one out of, hundreds of thousands of shows that do this. It's just weird. I don't get it.
Well, there's a lot of Japanese culture things that I don't get, so.
It's really prevalent in American TV shows. Anytime anything bad happens to someone, let me talk to my dead father real quick. He'll figure it out.
What was I watching recently?
At least get a bonk on the head first or something.
I was watching something recently that just had a death scene that, was representative. I was watching NCIS.
Which one?
The New Orleans. The new season just started.
Oh, jeez. I can't believe you watch that stuff.
I just watched the NCIS stuff.
It's so bad.
My mom used to watched it religiously, so I've seen
I've seen quite a bit of it for sure.
So a lot of the
original one, that one was okay.
So I watch stuff.
Definitely off topic, but let's go with it. The original one, the CSI lady in the lab, the girl, she was like 55, and she looks like she's 20.
Was she really?
Yeah, she was really old.
She just left the show last year.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the thing, like, she looked super hot goth girl in the lab, you know what I mean? Young, not the case. She was old as dirt.
I never got the goth
Some people age really well.
I never found
I mean, it's not particularly for me either, but hey.
I never found her attractive. I never got it.
Really?
No.
Pale, busty, you know what I mean? Pretty.
I never got it.
Huh?
I just...
Anyway, she was really old. Didn't look like it.
No, I didn't know that. Huh.
No, definitely off topic. Anyway, back to the scene.
But let's get back on topic, but not get back as far as going to anime, because I was also watching Naruto again. I started rewatching. I'm not rewatching and continuing where I left off in Naruto Shippuden, and apparently I stopped at the wrong time because I was like 3 episodes away from like finishing one arc, and then everything picked up in the next 3 episodes, and I was like, oh,
what arc are you on now?
They just
Pain?
Huh?
Pain?
No, I'm way before that.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I'm like 120 episodes in.
Oh, you're not too far. I mean, I think it's like 2 or something.
But they just finished trying to seal the 3 tails.
Okay.
And Sasuke just killed Orochimaru. That's where I am, and that
was pretty epic.
When they picked up from Sasuke, things just got really interesting, and I was like, I couldn't get back into it because it was getting boring, and then that picks up out of nowhere, and I'm like, okay, now I'm back into it. You
know Sasuke's cursed seal?
Yes.
I have it tattooed on me.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people know that.
No, I don't know. I didn't know that either. You're really
I wanted a sleeve, but you know what? It's just expensive. Who's got an extra $1,000 laying around to do a whole sleeve?
You're a dork.
I am. You have no idea. I'd have a lot more tattoos of anime-related stuff if I had more money. Thank God I don't.
Yeah. No.
Anyway, back to... I think we're pretty much done the review. What score do you want to give it? I'm thinking a solid 8.5. I enjoyed it a lot. For what it did well. I just didn't really like the comedy too much. Pretentiousness was a bit for me.
Alright, well, I can't give it that high because I don't think it's better than Eden in the East, and we gave that an 8.
Did we?
Yes.
Alright, maybe an 8 then.
Yes. I think...
I don't remember what the past ones were. Not a single one of them.
I remember almost all of them, and I know, and we gave Wolf Rain an 8 too.
Did we?
Yes, or maybe even a 9.
I think Wolf Rain might have been a 9 or 10.
It might have been a 9, because that was high too, but this was not as good as that.
Yeah, I enjoyed it a lot though. Like I said, pretty, nice to listen to.
As a slice of life anime, I give it an 8. But as an overall anime, I'm going to give it a 7.
Yeah, alright, that's fair.
Yeah, but like, if you like this kind of things, you should definitely watch it.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. If you like anything with romance, if you like anything with slice of life,
right.
It's definitely for you.
However, if you don't like that stuff, stay away from it because you're gonna hate it. You're definitely... me and you, we kind of like this stuff to a certain extent. We're not against...
I like most stories. It doesn't really matter what it is.
Right. But
I can enjoy it so long as it's something that can grab my attention.
But if you hate romance stories, stay away.
Yeah, if you don't like romance, just stay away from it.
Hey, because you're going to hate it.
It's heavily about romance.
All right,
yeah. So, on to the last letter category. Z.
Yeah, spin it. That is very, very loud.
Yeah, it is.
I thought
we were going to get Zatch Bell, but we got Zegapain?
Zegapan? I don't know.
There's an I there, so Zegapain as well.
Zegapain. I guess that's what we're watching.
Alright, guys. Last episode of the season.
Well, no.
Then we have some intermediate episodes in between seasons.
Well, no, I think the last 2 would still be tacked onto the last season.
So, after we're done Z, we're both going to pick an anime to watch.
Right.
I'm going to pick something to torture the shit out of him.
And I'm not. I'm going to pick something that I want to watch.
Alright, guys. Next episode, Zegapain.
Alright, guys. See you later.
See ya.